What is up, guys? This is a MMA commentary video, and we're about to talk about the obvious elephant in the room after last weekend's pay-per-view event. The main event, Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Nate Diaz is obviously not signed with the UFC anymore, at least from what I understand. I feel like he might be signing back. I don't know where things are going to go. And Tony Ferguson, who did have his moments in that fight, ultimately lost. Was basically toe-to-toe with Nate, and I think both of those guys are kind of past their prime, so to say. Both Nate and Tony. So it was a good matchup for two older gentlemen, and I'm only making this video because, one, Tony Ferguson is my favorite fighter, and I think it's time to be honest about what I'm seeing. This is all my opinion. I, myself, just some dude on the internet, cannot change Tony Ferguson of all people's minds. But if he ever sees this video, I'm just doing this all with good faith. But I have a feeling we're going to see him back in the octagon. And that is what worries me. Because I remember being in the audience for Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, and I thought that the fight was going to end up a lot worse than it did. That first round from Tony was amazing, where we saw old vintage El Kukui. And then he got caught in the second round with a really bad kick, which was like one of the most brutal knockouts he's ever been caught in. It sucked to see that. I thought he was going to win that fight. But, you know, it happens. That's the game. Because Tony is my favorite fighter of all time. But the reason I am making a short video on my 2 cents of whether or not he should retire at this point is just because during Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, although it was a really good fight, it wasn't like a one-sided war or a one-sided just ass-whooping. It was a war. But I did not see old-style El Kukui again. I feel like he's not getting any younger, and Father Time catches up with us so fast, especially in our late 30s. Like, 10 years from now, I'm not looking forward to that. And it's going to be a brutal wake-up for me, at least, where I'm going to have to make some hard life decisions myself. Because right now, currently, I'm 27, and I'm about to give it 10 years, and I'm going to be feeling it. And I'm going to have to start asking myself these questions. Can I still be as athletic as I once was? Because I enjoy working out. I enjoy training jiu-jitsu casually, and all that other stuff. And it just depends. You're going to have to switch things up a bit. For me, it's a lot different. I mean, when I'm not working out, I'm doing things that are more like lucrative, or trying to start businesses or whatever, make YouTube videos, whatever you want to say. But for him, it's very different because he's known nothing but fighting. He is built for this sport. Regardless of whether he's past his prime, it doesn't make a difference. He is one of the very select few people who was built to fight in the UFC. And it seems like, to me at least, he doesn't want to let that go. I hope he really does soon, because I hope he sees that he's got more in his life than just competing in the UFC. Fighting-wise, I see him opening up his studio. I mean, it's already opened, of course, and he's got students, but he could be continuously doing that, put more energy into that, put more energy into being a husband. I know he's got 2 kids, and he seems like a great father. He seems like he is a guy who is a very good family man, just overall, a decent person, despite, his out there mentality. But I think it was his out there mentality that made me love him so much, is that he was so out there and didn't care. And it kind of, in my early 20s, taught me a lesson of how far someone could go if they don't let the opinions of other people, the hatred of other people, bring you down. And that guy went so far in his golden era. Do I think he's going to retire? No. Do I hope he does? Yes, just because he's got a lot on the outside, and I don't want to see anything long-term happen to him that's going to be really bad. Because we might think we're on top of the world, but you get kicked in the head, something doesn't work right after that. It's just a crazy sport. And I'm just saying that because maybe, hopefully, I could probably be the guy to say, hey, don't do this, so I don't feel responsible for encouraging him to go back in there. But that's probably how I should end this video, because I don't want to drone on for too long. Tony, if you're ever listening to this video, you know I just want nothing but the best for you, because you have helped me through a lot of hard times in my life, your persona, and I do feel like Conor McGregor ducked you when you were on a tear. Is he going to probably take that fight now that he sees that, you know, you're getting older? Probably. But if I keep seeing the fighting from, you know, your fight with Nate Diaz, Conor's a precision striker, and that's a dangerous matchup. And I know that Conor is really coming back with a vengeance, because he has his own downward spiral that he's going through, which is much worse than anything you could ever go through. I mean, I can make a whole separate video on my opinion on Conor McGregor right now. But I think that if you want to hang up the gloves, I'm in full support, because there's other things that you could do with your life. Your social media presence is going to be off the charts. You've already reached the top of the mountain, and I think you've achieved more than most people in life ever achieve. And I don't want to see you throw that away, because you want to keep going back in there. And every fight, you're only going to get older. And that's just all I have to say. I don't want to see a Chuck Liddell situation again. But that's my 2 cents. Peace.